Yo, so this is my longer video about the Man of Steel. The reason I'm doing this longer video, which I don't do that many longer videos, mainly because I watch quite a lot of YouTube and I find the longer videos probably a bit boring, if I'm perfectly honest with you. But if I don't do one on Superman, I'm going to do him a disjustice, because Superman has been such a massive part of my life and still is. I've got the tattoo on my hand. I had that done when I first got clean in recovery, because on Krypton it stands for hope. I had hope written across my knuckles. Yeah, and it's just been such a massive part of my life, not only in my journey since I got clean and sober, but even as a little boy. I've got a photo of me, probably 2 years old, sat next to my dad in my little Superman outfit, not realising that I was actually sat next to my superhero himself. But yeah, Superman's been a massive part of my life, and I just wanted to do a bit my reasoning behind why I like Superman and who I think who my top 3 Supermen are and why. I couldn't get any straight answers yesterday. I watched different YouTubers, from the smaller content makers to the much larger content makers. Excuse me a second. And I'm just looking at my screen right now, and I'm about to watch Piers Morgan. I don't know if he mentions this, because obviously he's a little bit more right wing. And I believe that the new Superman is going to be a little bit more woke. Shocker. Because we daren't say things anymore, had we? You know, we couldn't possibly offend the Gen Z population. And you know what? Look, it's still freedom of speech. I don't want to get cancelled, of course I don't. But I'm not also one of these pussies that won't say it how I feel. I'm not going to go along with somebody because that's the way that society tells me that now I should think. Exactly the same as a Snow White film. No one dares say. I thought the whole idea behind Snow White, her skin was as white as snow. Maybe I'm wrong. And then they use a girl that's I don't know if she's half caste, or even if you're allowed to use that anymore. What's the problem? I'm not racist. I'm not sexist. I'm not prejudiced. So she's of mixed race, I believe. She doesn't look particularly that mixed race, but she's definitely darker skinned. Not who you'd think would play Snow White. And that's crazy to me. Same as the Snow and the Seven Dwarfs. They wouldn't use, I don't even know if you're allowed to use the word dwarf anymore, or because it might offend the small people. But ultimately, this is how we grew up. You know, this is the whole bullshit that's happening online with the likes of, you know, what we were allowed to get away with and what we weren't allowed to get away with. Watch Only Fools and Horses, that started in the 70s, I believe, or Alf Garnett, or these are the things that I can remember. And I watch them back and think, oh my God, I know I can't say a lot of the things that they said on there. That was played on daytime TV. It was accepted back then, was it right? I said it was right, but it was accepted, so it was right for back then. So you're trying to reteach an old dog new tricks and then say that we're getting it wrong. Fuck you. This is my opinion, and it'll stay my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, don't fucking watch. But it is my opinion. Like I say, and I don't have to keep saying it, I'll say it one more time. I'm not racist. I'm not sexist. I'm not prejudiced. Be happy. There's worse things in the world than two people loving each other. If they're the same, I don't care. I don't give a shit. But I don't want it rammed down my throat all the fucking time. And you know what? I think Morgan Freeman said it best on race. Take the word, that word that we can't say, out of the dictionary. Take it out of the dictionary. Don't use it. Just forget it. I'm not saying forget the past, but at the end of the day, it's history. There's nothing we can do about it. Move the fuck on. So that's my little rant, and if I'm not cancelled after the 4.5 minutes, then I should be okay to carry on. So I'm going to say it how it is. You now have my views on this whole thing, am I left or right? I'm definitely more to the right, because I think the left woke scene, this bullshit is, I'm not going to get too much into it, but it doesn't interest me in the slightest. And if somebody wants me to use a different pronoun, which is, I won't. I don't care. Arrest me. The reason I won't use it, I just won't talk to them. I have nothing in common. Why would I do that? It's ridiculous. It goes on chromosomes, I'm afraid. That's my stance on that. You're a boy or girl. Anyway, call yourself whatever. I really couldn't give a shit. Shit a litter tray for me. Not bothered. But just don't put it up. Well, yeah, put it on the internet. I just won't watch it. And please don't watch me. Hopefully I've only offended the people that I don't give a shit about. And the ones that I do, let's talk about Superman. Right, okay. So the reason I went through that little rant was because I have been watching shouldn't I go to the cinema to watch the new Superman. I'm actually looking at Piers Morgan's thumbnail saying it's a disaster. James Gunn's turned Superman woke. And that frightens me to death, because for me he was a hero. He got shot in the eyeball, didn't flinch. You know, you have all these. Christopher Reeve was so mad when Lois died. He made the world spin backwards and turn back to time. Now, this is the Superman I grew up with, and this is the Superman I want to carry on growing up with. So I will start from my number 3, my third favourite. I mean, I suppose I should give a small, I say small shout out. I didn't dislike Dean Cain in Lois and Clark. I didn't dislike him. I thought he was a bit comic-y. That suit was poor at times. I mean, we are going back to the 90s. I mean, this is going on the series Lois and Clark. I think it was 93 to 97, something like that. I didn't mind that. I mean, I was still young then. I mean, I was sort of 15, 16. And it was watchable, and I loved Superman, and he pulled it off for me. I'll give a shout out to, I think it's Tom Welling. That was Smallville. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of Smallville. I suppose, I don't know if it was my age at the time. I think it was about 2000 to 2010 or 11. And yeah, I didn't mind it. But yeah, it didn't capture me, if I'm perfectly honest, but not too bad. So my third, I'll go my third one. Now, I always get a second name wrong. Tyler Hoechlin. So that's Superman and Lois. That's the newest series of Superman. I didn't mind it. I can't say I didn't. I'm saying it from a Superman perspective. I loved it as a series, and I'm rewatching it right now. So I absolutely loved it as a series because it's got Superman in it. I think yeah. You know, I don't want to give away any plots, but his kids are a bit mardy, and yes, him and his wife Lois have obviously got good chemistry in it. My only little gripe, there's things that piss me off because I'm such a massive fan of Superman. There's things that are always, I suppose, going to piss me off. Watching, like, you know, in that he says he loses his job at the planet, and they haven't got a lot of money, and I think, you know, you're the most powerful man in the world. I'm not saying you should go and walk into a bank and take your money, but let's face facts, if you were protecting the world, I don't think you should be on fucking food stamps. So there's some not fantastic bits, wincy bits for me in it. My biggest problem with it is, again, Tyler Hoechlin, I quite like him. He's charismatic, he pulls Superman off, I do think he does. I just don't like his beefed up suit. He didn't need it. I know he would have been a more slender Superman, but he didn't need it. And you can see it. And I think that makes it a little worse, because it's trying to, you know, when he sort of walks through and his arms have doubled in size, but you can actually see the rib of the padding. I struggle with it, I do. You know, for me, he could have pulled off a more slender Superman, because he's not using what humans use as muscles, you know? So anyway, he's my number 3, pulled off Superman, and I beg that you do another series. And I'm pretty sure they stopped that series because of this new Superman coming out, and they didn't want to sort of damage it and overlap. Well, for me, do another season or more, continue it. It's well worth it. It's fantastic, well worth a watch. Wincy bits, yes, and you'll not unsee that suit, but worth a watch. Now, my number 2 will always stay my number 2. My number 2 is very close to my number 1. They've never changed positions. He's always been my number 2, but he is very close to my number 1. That's Henry Cavill. I think he did it for almost 10 years. So 2013 to 2021, something like that. And I actually watched Man of Steel yesterday, and I won't cry. Bawled my fucking eyes out. Where the casting, Lawrence Fishburne at Planet, it's just amazing. It's just amazing, and he's the epitome of Superman for me. Absolutely epitome of Superman. And Kevin Costner as his dad. Oh, that bit. I did joke a bit then. My eyes are welling up because it's just amazing. He's buff, he's good looking. And as a bloke, am I progressive? I just say it how it is, and that's on my bio. I just say it how it is. If I think a bloke, I can say I think a bloke's good looking. I can say that. I do say that. I say it regular. If I think a guy's good looking, I say it way more than my wife. I say, oh yeah, I think he's a good looking guy. Sometimes she say, oh dear, I don't. We don't have that in our relationship at all. I'll say happily, I think Henry Cavill is awesome looking. He is buff, he's big, he's perfect as Superman. And I was distraught when I found out that he wasn't going to come back. Absolutely distraught. Which people I had a negative comment. Well, negative? Yeah, negative. I did a poll on TikTok, and I actually put a short on YouTube as well. And someone commented, don't know who they were. I don't normally try and give the people that give negative comments any sort of bother, because they don't interest me. But someone put, I ought to grow up. If he's your superhero, you ought to grow up. Well, no. Here's my answer. Go fuck yourself. Never will I grow up. Why would you do that? You know, you got the DC universe, Marvel, all that. Why? This is the whole point of it, of not growing up, isn't it? You know, my wife loves Disney, and she's gutted with the way that's going. So no, I won't grow up with that at all. I only commented back, he's real, and then he put something back like, prove it, in a religious sense. I don't know. Anyway, it was weird. Yes, in my head, Superman lives in all of us, or could, because he stands for hope. Anyway, right, before I get choked up again, this is honestly how passionate I am about it. And number 1, Christopher Reeve. Now, look, you know, again, not controversial. He's everyone's favourite. Well, not everyone's favourite. My wife's, I think, is Henry Cavill, because that's the one that brought it real to her. But for me, being born in the 70s, growing up in the 80s, yeah, magical, absolutely magical. I watched them constantly. Do I like Superman 3 and 4? Not particularly, but it's got Superman in it. I hate the part where he fights his bad self. I mean, as a child, it traumatized me, a bit like E.T. Can you remember E.T. when E.T. was, oh God, when he was making that noise and he went a funny colour? You know what I'm talking about. If you're here after 15 minutes, you know exactly what I'm saying about E.T. Now, let's not get off, I'm getting off track. But Christopher Reeve, for me, yes. Again, he beefed himself up a bit because he was slender. It was back in the 80s. So we had the very blue, very red suit. We had the dodgy CGI, but it was beautiful. It worked. And you know what? Honestly, I am choking back the tears. It absolutely killed me when he had that accident. Anyway, rest in peace. So, for me, Christopher Reeve, number 1. Henry Cavill, number 2. Tyler Hoechlin, number 3. Yeah, let me know what you think. I am going to go and see the new movie then. Again, I'd nearly convinced myself that I wasn't going to see it. And my wife cleverly put it in a way that, look, why don't you do your video on Superman and do a review on it? It's not my thing. I do love movies. It is mine and my wife's thing. It really absolutely is. It's what we do to chill out. So she's right. Let's go and see it, and I'm going to go and see it with an open mind. I'm going to go and see it as a Superman movie. I'm going to see it as an open mind, even if I have to choke back, because I have seen a couple of people say that the first few minutes are tough if you're a Superman fan. I'm not going to walk out. I'm not going to get Marty and walk out, because I got a feeling I would have done that. I don't like the look of the advert. I don't like the idea of introducing Crypto the dog. I don't. That he should have stayed in the comics. I don't like the idea that Superman needs a dog to help him. I'm insulted that I believe there's robots in it. I'm sorry if that's a spoiler, because I've not seen it. And seeing him wounded and bleeding, I'm insulted again. But fuck it. I'm a big boy. Let's put my big boy pants on and go and see it. And if it offends me, it offends me. And I'll say if it offends me. If I've offended you, I don't care. I am not sorry, because at the end of the day, I am who I am. I say it how it is, and you should do the same. And not everyone has to get on with everybody. I don't wish any ill will to anybody. And like I say, these are just my views. If you don't agree with them, that's fine. That's okay. I've got lots of friends and family that we do not see eye to eye on certain things. The newer generation, don't get, when I say, the Gen Zs are a bunch of cunts, I think most of them are, possibly, but my kids are born in that generation, and ones before that, and anyway, these people are going to be running our country, and I think it's ridiculous. Some of the new things that are coming in are making us all, what's the word? It's dangerous, because people are going to court for things that they said and did 30, 40 years ago that weren't even frowned upon. Words that were a naughty word. You can't say that naughty word anymore. Can't say that naughty word anymore. You can't do, grow the fuck up. Learn history, that's fine, I understand that. But are we still at the point where naughty words offend us? Really? Do your best. Here you go. Do your best for me. I'm fat, I'm white, I'm grey, old, English. You call me a Brit. You go, do your worst. Come here, milk bottle. I don't know. Come on, we want. Do what we want. See if you can offend me. I'm a shit content mate. I can't spell. Grow the fuck up, man. Grow the fuck up. And I'm married to a woman, and we're happy. I don't care. I don't care about any. Be happy. Be happy. Stop hurting each other. Stop pissing each other. Just be happy. Be happy in your own life. Leave every other fucker alone. Fuck off and be happy. So this is probably one of my longest videos. 20-minute rant on Superman. So there we are. Christopher Reeve, number 1. Henry Cavill, number 2. Tyler Hoechlin, number 3. If you're still here after 20 minutes, I'll be fucking amazed. But if you are, I don't know, just put hope in the comment. And then I'll know you watched the full video in its entirety. And you know what? I might even send you a freebie, because I don't think anyone will watch it to the end. Catch you the next one.